What's up, big bro?
Hey, I love you, man. You know that, right?
Yep,
We
I
talked
do.
about this. We talked about this. We know the structure. We know the order. We know how it was going to play out. And you've been there fighting. I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. You got to understand, Ed, God has a time and a place for you, my brother. And I know your heart. I know everything that's going on inside of you. You know, I know you like a book. And I know how you feel about them kids. And I know you do not want to leave those kids. So I'm praying for you right now, man, because this is going to be the toughest thing you ever had to do in your life. Sometimes, Ed, you got to walk away, my brother. I know it's tough. I know you don't want to hear it. But sometimes in life, we got to walk away.
What's happening, everybody? Conscious by nature,
Yeah.
champ, scholar, genius. What's happening?
So, fellas, I know you guys have seen what's going on this week with Bethune-Cookman, HBCU. We got the brother Ed Reed, who was set and hired as football coach there. Let's talk, man. He gets on campus. He's been recruiting players to come to this team, students to the school. And he seems to find out that it's not all it's cracked up to be. The school doesn't seem to be behind him financially, making sure that they have the right surroundings for these students or putting things in place for these kids.
Equipment,
Yeah, proper equipment.
weight room, things to be successful
Yeah.
at your job.
And I know he knew coming in that it was gonna be less than stellar.
It's not going to be Miami, but damn, can I get some machinery that works?
Now, he even spoke saying that he gave a lot of his own money. He had people lined up to invest and to help the school, not of his own doing. I read an article about Shaquille O'Neal getting a lot of investors together, and they were going to put money in on the Bethune-Cookman thing because Ed was there. So he comes out and he airs some grievances, speaking on that he understood what Prime was talking about.
I'm coming over giving them the same passion and they smiling and laughing in my thing. Funny? We gonna ride through the fence they ain't fixed the fence. We about to ride through this fence. This ain't even football side. This ain't even the football side. And y'all talking about Madden at my Uncle Prime. Y'all mad at Dion, mad at Prime. This shit is every HBCU. Bro, we riding through the fence. This is track, bro. This is track. This is what they practice on. It's a straightaway. This is in a mirror field. You can't practice on this.
So
They fire him.
they fired him.
They fired Ed Reed.
So what was he saying? What was he saying?
Well, the things he was saying was just, I mean, shitty, poor conditions. I mean, the field looked like crap. We've got trash all over the place. He doesn't even have a proper office to even, work and reside in, right? You know what I'm saying? Just horrible conditions. I agree wholeheartedly. You can clearly see it, but I think there's a certain way that you have to go about that, give that information out. When you go on live, IG live, and you're cussing and things of that nature, it doesn't look good.
So Ed Reed was on IG Live?
He was on IG live. Now he said that he wasn't recording himself; somebody else was recording him. But even still, you have to be wary of how you disseminate that information out there like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be cussing about your employer.
Hold on.
Hit it.
I mean, you kind of can. You kind of can be cussing about your employer. You kind of can. When you're Ed Reed and you're going to Bethune-Cookman, you fucking sure can talk about them like that. And we sit up here and say, "Oh, he's not Deion Sanders." He kind of is. He kind of fucking is. Yeah.
Hall of Fame, Super Bowl champion, DB, Ed Reed. There's
ain't
a
many free
reason.
safeties better than him.
There's a reason why you hired him.
He kind of is, Dion. So when we sit up here and talk about this shit, you kind of can when you Ed Reed. You know what I'm saying? You was a fucking stud in college, champion in college. Like you kind of can say that shit, and it don't matter if one of your players or some shit is recording you, and that shit went out there. Like this shit got to change. And now you got Shaquille O'Neal, like you said, putting money in.
Yeah, he had a group of investors I read that were willing to put their money behind the HBCU because they understood what Prime was doing at Jackson State, and how that went. That was ripples along our entire community. Everybody heard what Prime said. Everybody understood what he meant to that school and how that situation turned and changed, right? But you can't fire the guy for being upset about the conditions and somebody recording him. He was on the Roland Martin show. Okay, they got him on there to interview him to get his side of the story after he was fired. Very passionate about how he loved the kids, how he felt bad them saying that he was fired. He has kids that are committed to that school, and now they don't know what to do. He said he personally coaches. He has a 6-figure position right now at the University of Miami. He doesn't have to do that or even be there, but he wanted to commit himself to helping. And he doesn't even want to not coach the school because he could just say no or just accept that firing. He doesn't want to. There was a protest. You guys seen that? The students of Bethune-Cookman staged a protest.
Hundreds of students held a protest on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach today. Those students are upset that the university ended contract negotiations with prospective head football coach and former NFL great Ed Reed.
As West 2's Claire Metz reports, they think it's retaliation for comments that Reed recently made on social media the students believe are the truth.
Hundreds of Bethune-Cookman University students sent a message to the administration, to the board, to anyone who would listen with a peaceful but vocal campus protest.
We voice concerns, we send emails all the time, no responses, so this is what it has come to.
It came to that after the university broke off negotiations with prospective head football coach Ed Reed. Reed had recently taken to social media, often using profanity to criticize physical conditions here at BCU, even claiming his office wasn't clean. Reed later apologized, but the university decided this weekend to reopen their search. While students are petitioning to bring Reed back, they say it's time they speak out too.
We have a voice.
BCU student Tyrone Franklin Jr. is a quarterback on the football team. Disappointed the university dropped Ed Reed.
I think him showing that what we're going through as a student body should be shown. Many people has been saying this for a long time.
Students shared pictures of what they say are some campus concerns, including broken doors, mold in dorm rooms, even growing on stuffed animals.
The first couple months I was here, I literally was sick because of the mold. My shower makes my skin break out because, they don't really care about the health of their students.
Many here told us Ed Reed spoke the truth about issues at the university, and they showed up, even marched in the street to have it all reheard. At the end of the day, they say this is what they want university leaders to respond to.
What is the next step? How do we get this solved? What can they do to make this better for all of the students here?
Stop playing with me.
Because they want the change that he's speaking of.
Right. Stop playing with me.
But wasn't there also another protest of former athletes and players that did not want him and said, get him out of here?
Well, Coach, now we move a little fast forward until when these videos came out, and the first question that came to my mind was he aware of, you just said he was aware of the facilities and that sort of thing. So had he seen those facilities?
It's very difficult for me to talk about this because I have to keep my athletic director hat on because, if I take the athletic director hat off, we're going to have a different conversation. But Ed was completely aware of our situation here at Bethune-Cookman. Ed came in kind of unbeknownst to anyone. I showed him around along with my staff, showed him every single thing that was good about the program, everything that was not good. And I also showed him one of the reasons why I wanted to hire him is because of his the ability to help me build the program, and build the facilities that we were talking about. So there was no excuse for him to act like he was shocked, because he knew exactly what was going on here. And you know, he came into his office. His office was clean. It just wasn't clean to his specifications. Now, when he said something about the office, well, he didn't work here. He hadn't signed his contract. So I hadn't done any, you know, major cleanup job, because the coaches had just left the building, you know, not long ago. So there's so much of what he's talked about that comes from the wrong place. And his perspective is what he sees in front of him. Never dealt with any historical facts, never dealt with the hurricane, never dealt with anything that came along with where we are today. He walked in here and saw something and acted like he didn't know, but he knew. He knew everything, because I told him.
Reggie Theus and some other players.
So let's get to that
motherfucker Reggie Theus.
Let's get to that.
And who else is on this?
Yeah, and then also there's another former Baltimore Raven. I forget the brother's name.
I would love to know.
Who was
his
also
name.
saying that he was speaking against that. Like, you want no parts of this cat. Get rid of him. So you had two different factions going on. You had a faction of young kids or whatever saying, "Hey, we want him here," and then you had the old schools. The alumni is saying, "Nah, this ain't the one."
So he spoke about Reggie Theus on that interview. And he said that Reggie Theus is an evil man. He used that exact verbiage, saying that Reggie Theus was trying to get him to take the firing. And he said that he when he was paying for students and parents out of his own pocket to come and have dinners and take these trips, he said Reggie Theus got people coming and tying his shoelaces for him and treating them like servants and shit like that. Like, Reggie Theus is acting like he's the motherfucking Don on this campus, not doing anything or to deal with the conditions, but perpetuating
the situation.
Exactly.
Man,
taking advantage of it.
Taking advantage of it, like you the king of the castle. So of course a cat like Reggie Theus don't want nobody to come through and see no real change and bring this thing really together. It's because it's going to fuck up his whole thing. I ain't going to have nobody to tie my shoes or bring me my food.
I'm like, damn.
So
really?
I can understand. And I don't know who this Baltimore Ravens player is, unless you're talking about, I don't know who other than Ray Lewis could ever say a fucking word against Ed Reed. Like, it's hard for me to fathom that.
This whole situation is just crazy. Even though, let's say they didn't like hearing him talk bad about the school, okay? You fired him. Students, because the students they're coming and standing up on their own for this man, regardless of the alumni. They're not going there. They may be putting money in, but this is to make this better.
How could they be putting money in and it be these conditions?
Right. But they want the school to be better. So how can you be against somebody who wants it to be better than it is?
But they don't want it. You know what?
That's it.
Come on, man.
Right.
Stop playing with me. Because if you really wanted somebody better, you got somebody better. You got the best you gonna get right now, maybe the best you ever gonna have. And this what you doing? Because he got a problem because everything is fucking trash and broken and old and outdated.
How come you can't reconcile? The man said he still want to coach there. How come you can't reconcile? He said when he was interviewing, he said he knows that this interim director is just a figurehead they're putting out there to say that they fired him.
Because we all know Reggie Theus is saying, you know what?
But can you say that about your, if he's the interim whatever, he is the man. That's your initial report. So, I don't know if you can say shit like that
I got you.
and be working there. You see what I'm saying? Maybe not say that out in front. Maybe pull him to the side.
I'm pulling real hard energy.
Yeah.
But if you hear him talk, the man is not giving this kind of energy. He's like, I just want to help. I just want to be there because I want to be there for these kids.
Let me ask you this on a real. Do you think he was overly emotional? like showed a little bit too much emotion, almost like, yo.
Not really.
Okay.
Because I don't see him as a man that gets like that often.
Okay.
It personally, on my judgment, he doesn't seem like the guy that will come to tears easily. Okay, he was speaking from the heart.
And I asked you that because I know a lot of people are saying, yo, I wouldn't even send my kids to him because look how he overly emotional and crying and shit.
What?
You know how we do as men.
That's
right?
whack.
They put it out there. So that's why I asked you the question.
Flat out, the man can coach football. Yeah. The man can play football. The man can coach football. He wouldn't be coaching at Miami if he couldn't coach football. The man can clearly coach. He's a name. He's a champion. See, and this is the problem because we talk about HBCUs and we say that we want people like this. Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you this. White coach going to a white school and call himself cleaning it up. He get fired? He called himself cleaning this place up. He get fired? Mm-hmm. When Saban went over to Alabama from LSU, clean this place up, he get fired?
Yeah, Alabama wasn't good.
It was shit.
Alabama was terrible then.
I'm just saying. So, like, we get these coaches or black coaches and we scrutinize them. You feel me?
Yeah.
And we over scrutinize them when we say all these things, but for real, we don't even pay them right. They pay themselves and they pay their staff. They underpay, but these white coaches get millions and millions. And you wonder why a dude like Deion would leave and go to Colorado. It actually makes sense because at the end of the day, the way we do our coaches, the way we treat our coaches don't make sense. Like you got the best of the best out here. And we ain't never even brought up Eddie George. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great, yeah.
He's so quiet and calm, but I already know his conditions ain't the best.
Yeah, he actually came out. I think he did say that early on. Was like, hey, we need to, rectify some of these things that are going on here. We will do that. Did he do it at the level that, Ed Reed did it? No. But still, it's still a gripe is a gripe is a gripe.
And I understand tact, professionalism, and how you should speak about certain things. Yeah. But you got to give a man a pass, okay? We trying to make real change. And just like Money's kind of saying, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing here, just taking from it, like, why is it so quick to pull the rope on our guy? Mm-hmm. Why is it so quick to fire our guy when you would see other situations where these coaches have done all kind of things? Bob Huggins was hitting players and cursing, and long as he won, they kept that dude.
Like 2 years ago, Michigan State basketball coach, what's the motherfucker name?
There Izzo.
Man, choking
Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo was choking the dude in the tunnel, right? Mm-hmm. After the game.
Yeah.